Hello there again. Today we are going to study in mathematics linear equations in one variable. Now we have already learned what are constants and what are variables in algebra. Values which have fixed, terms which have fixed values are called constants. All numbers along with their signs, plus, minus signs, are called as constants. Whereas those terms whose values are not specified or fixed, they are known as variables. Now variables are given in symbols as any letter of the English alphabet from A till Z. So let us now see the definition of linear equations. Linear equation or an equation consists of the constants and variables, along with the arithmetic operations of plus, minus, multiplication and division. Now they are all arranged in such a way that there is a left side and there is a right side, and in the middle there is an equal to sign. This equal to sign is in the middle. There is a left side of this equal to sign, there is a right side of this equal to sign. For example, you have here 3x equals to 15. So as you can see here, equal to sign is in the middle. 3 is a constant, x is a variable, there is no sign in between, so multiplication sign. So 3 into x is there on the left side and constant 15 is on the right side. So constants, variables, sign equals to constant. So an equation consists of all these terms in such a way that this equals to sign is in the middle. Similarly, next equation is x minus 2 equals to 7. X is a variable, 2 is a constant, minus is an arithmetic operation, 7 is a constant. So they are arranged in such a way that equals to sign is in the middle. Same way, x divided by 5 equals to 10. Here also equals to is in the middle. Left side you have x, variable, 5, constant, and in between x and 5 there is this bar sign which symbolizes division. And on the right side you have a constant. Alright, you can even have variables on both sides of equal to sign. Here is another example where you have constants and variables on both sides of equal to sign. On the left side also you have a variable constant. Right side also variable constant. Plus sign here in between, minus sign here in between, and the whole thing is separated by an equal to sign right in the middle. So this is called as a equation, and it is called linear. Linear means in one line, it follows a particular line. So all these are given in one line, so they are called as linear equations. I hope this is clear. Alright, now in the next part, we are going to find the value of this variable. So in this case, the variable that I have given is x. In this case, here in this case also x, here is also x. So one variable, we are going to study an equation which has one variable. So this equation, I have written this separately. This equation, how many variables it has? One. But when you go in higher classes, an equation can consist of more than one variable also. Like in one equation only you may have x, you may have y. So two variables. So that will be in the higher classes. But as of now, you are only going to study about those equations which have only one variable in them. See, in this equation also, how many variables? The whole equation has only one variable, x. Here also, the variable is given in x. There is no other variable y or z or a or b as such. So, we are going to find the value of this x. And to find the value of this variable, there are two methods. One method is inverse method, and another method is So, two methods are there to find the value of variable. One is inverse method, another is known as shifting method. So, first we will learn the inverse method. Now, in inverse method, to find the value of x, let me explain to you how we find for this particular equation. There is one more thing. For each and every line that you begin in an equation to be solved, you cannot give an equal to sign. You have to give this particular sign every line that you come across. This is called implies sign. Implies sign. This is equals to with an arrow sign at the right hand side. And if you don't do this, it is punishable. It is an offense in algebra. Whenever you are solving an equation, you need to begin with an implied sign. Keep this in mind. So now, you all know if there is no sign between 3 and x, you always have a multiplication sign. So I can write it this way. Clear? In the next step, in inverse method, to find the value of x, we need to isolate x. That means 3 which is attached, actually 3 multiplied by is attached to x. We need to remove this 3. Now to remove multiplied by 3, you can give divided by 3. This is the meaning of inverse. Inverse means opposite. You have to check what sign is given. In other words, with x, the number that is attached, what sign is in the middle? Whatever sign is there in the middle, to remove that particular number, you have to give the opposite of that. So opposite of multiplied by is divided by. Opposite of plus is minus. We will come to that later on. As of now, you have multiplied by 3. So to remove multiplied by 3, you have to give divided by 3. In that way, 3 and 3 will cancel, only x will remain. But as you know, the equation doesn't only have the left side, it also has the right side. So whatever operation you are doing on the left side, what did you do here? Divided by 3. Same thing you are going to do on the right side also. Okay? Remember, whatever operation you do in an equation on the left side, same you have to do on the right side. Alright, now what will happen? 3 cancels on the left side. So only what will remain? See, I am giving an implied sign. Each and every line I am beginning with, I am giving an implied sign. You also should do the same thing. Not equal to sign. Implies. Okay, so 3 and 3 cancels here. What will remain only? Okay, when 3 and 3 cancels, it cancels with 3 1 and 3 3 1. 1 divided by 1 is how much? 1. So 1x. Okay, now come to right side. 15 divided by 3. 5 to 15. Now we always ignore this 1 whenever it is there in front of x or any variable. So instead of 1x, we can just write x equals to 5. So see, we have got the value of x. By which method we use? Inverse method. By using inverse method. What did we do in inverse method? We check between the variable and the constant what sign is there. We have into sign. So to remove this number, this constant from this variable, whatever sign is there, you have to give the opposite sign. And like in this case, this division, multiplication, x is multiplied by 3. So to remove 3, I have given divided by 3. Same thing I have done on the right side also. Whatever number is there, divided by whatever number I have used here. In this case, it is 3. So here also it should be divided by 3. So when you solve it, 3 and 3 will cancel. You will only get x. This side, 15 and 3, 15 divided by 3 is 5. So x value is 5. This is known as inverse method. Now let us solve this particular equation also using inverse method. Alright? So again, implied sign. And as I have said, you have to check between the variable and the constant what sign is there. In this case, it is minus sign. So to remove this 2, or to be specific, minus 2, what is opposite of minus? Plus. So minus 2, to remove it, I have to give plus 2. Okay? By inverse method, inverse means opposite. If there is a minus sign, we give a plus sign. And minus 2 is there, I have to give plus 2. So what did I do on the left side? Plus 2. So right side also plus 2. Remember, whatever you do on the left side of an equation, same thing you have to do on the right side of the equation. Okay. Now minus 2 and plus 2. It is like giving 2 and taking away 2. So what will remain? 0. So x plus 0, no need to write. So here 2 is removed. From the left side, 2 is removed. Now, on the right side, 7 plus 2 is 9. So x value is 9. See, as simple as that. You can also check your answer, you know that. Put the value of x here. X value, how much you got? 9. Okay, put it in the question. 9 minus 2 is how much? 7. Okay, 7. So our answer is correct. Even in this one also, what is the value of x we got? 5. Okay, put the value of x over here 5. So 3 into 5 is how much? 15. So here also 15. So our answer is correct. So we have solved two equations using inverse method. Okay, now coming to the third equation. Third equation, again I am starting with an implied sign. You have here x divided by 5. Now to remove this divided by 5, in inverse method we will multiply by 5. Opposite of division is multiplication. So to remove 5, I am doing multiply by 5. So that's on the left side. What operation I have done on the left side? Multiply by 5. So same thing we will do this side also, multiply by 5. So now what will happen? 5 and 5 will cancel. So only x will remain here. And this side 10 into 5 is 50. So x value is how much? 50. You can test it here whether the answer is correct. In the rough, what's the value of x equal? X is how much? 50. Okay. 50 divided by how much you have? 5. Solve it. 5 how much is it? 5. 10. So our answer is correct. Okay, now we will directly go to the exercise. In the exercise, we will start with question number 2. Question number 1, you can do it by yourself. It is the same that we had done in chapter 11. Okay, write an equation for each of the following. You need not solve them, just write the equation. You have to read the sentence over there and frame the equation. Alright, if you don't do it also, it's alright. Let's directly start from question number 2, that is solving the values of the variables. So in the first one we have this a plus 7 equals to 12, and which method you have to use over here? Inverse method. Okay, shifting method we will do in the next class. Okay, so don't worry that I'm not going to cover that. It's not like that. We will do it in the next class. Today we will only concentrate on inverse method. We will today only concentrate on inverse method. Now, the first equation given is a plus 7 equals to 12. So, as usual, we begin with the implied sign. And between a and 7, what sign is there? Plus. So, I said that we have to isolate the variable. In this case, isolate a. So, how to isolate a? We have to remove plus 7. And how do we remove plus 7 in inverse method? How to remove plus 7? By giving a minus 7. Okay. What is opposite of plus? Minus. So plus 7 to remove, we give minus 7. So this was done on the left side. Same thing we will do on the right side. On the right side also, we will give minus 7. So now plus 7 and minus 7 will cancel with each other. That means they are removed. 7 is removed. So only a will be this time. And here 12 minus 7. What's the value we got? A equals to 5. Okay, we can do the next one also, part 2. 10 plus c equals to 23. 10 plus c equals to 23. Okay, this is part 2. Alright, again, beginning with implied sign. Which is the variable? C. C is the variable. And what constant number is attached to it? 10. In other words, plus 10. So we have given minus 10. So on the right side also minus 10. So plus 10 minus 10, they cancel each other. In other words, 10 is removed and only plus C or only C remains. And on the right side, 23 minus 10 is 13. So what's the value of C? 13. Yeah, we have understood this. Okay, now I am not going to do all the sums. Now this particular question number 2 is divided into A, B, C and D. And in A you have several sums from 1 till 8. So I am not going to do all of them because similar questions they are. So all those similar questions which I am not doing is your homework. Alright. So next that I am going to attempt is number A part 5. Same again here. Begin with implies sign. Okay, we have the variable here x. Constant is 9.2. It's in decimal. Now some of you fear this decimal very much. I don't know for what reason. We have already learned. We had an entire chapter on decimals. Okay. So to find x, what is the number that is attached with x? Plus 9.2. Plus 9.2. So what is opposite of plus? Is minus. So to remove plus 9.2, give minus 9.2. So that plus and minus will cancel each other. Same number with opposite signs cancel each other. So that's on the left side. So on the right side also you will do the same thing. What we have done on the left side, you have given a minus 9.2. So right side also you will give minus 9.2. So plus 9.2 minus 9.2 get removed, they get cancelled. So only x will remain on the left side. Now on the right side we have 10 minus 9.2. I hope you all remember the decimal chapter. If there is no decimal here, we give a point and give 0 to fill the empty space that was here. 10.0 is same as 10. Now you can do the subtraction. 10 gives 1 here, it becomes 10 minus 2 is 8. Point should be below point. This 10 gave 1, it became 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. So what's the value of x? 0.8 is the value of x. Okay, similar way, let us try to do this one. Implies sign again. There is a mixed fraction here. First, let us solve or convert it into improper fraction. You cannot do any operation as long as the number is a mixed fraction, So we have to convert it into improper fraction. So 2 3s are 6 plus 1, 7 by 2 equals to 5. Now 5 can be written as 5 by 1. Since we are dealing with fractions, so we need a denominator. And if no denominator is given, 1 is there as the denominator. Okay. Next. With A, we have a plus 7 by 2. So to remove plus 7 by 2, like what we had done in all these, you are going to give a minus 7 by 2. Plus 7 by 2 to remove, we give minus 7 by 2. That's what was on the left side. On the right side also you are going to do the same thing. You are going to give a minus 7 by 2 on the right side also. You have given minus 7 by 2 here. So same thing on the right side. So what will happen now? Plus 7 by 2 and minus 7 by 2 cancels each other. Only A remains on the left side. On the right side, now we have to solve this. LCM of 1 and 2 is 2. Alright. Now this is fraction knowledge. 1 how much is 2? 1, 2 is 2. And on numerator we have 5. 2 how much is 2? 2, 1 is 2. And in the numerator we have 7. 10 minus 7. So what's the value of A? 10 minus 7 is 3, so 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is the value of A. You can even convert this one into mixed fraction. variable given in the seventh part is n. So let's do one thing. All this while, the variable side here, variable side here. Where the variable side was on the left side of the equation. But here we have the variable on the right side equal to here constantly. So let's switch sides. You can write n plus 1 by 3 equals to 2 by 3. It is like side change. Okay, side change. You can do it from left side to right side, right side to left side, but equal to will be in the middle only. Alright. So now it looks familiar to us. Alright, so here you have n plus 1 by 3. The variable is n. N plus 1 by 3. So from n we have to remove this plus 1 by 3. What do we do to remove plus 1 by 3? What is opposite of plus? Minus. So to remove plus 1 by 3 we give minus 1 by 3. So that's on the left side. You have done what? You have given a minus 1 by 3. So same thing you are going to do on the right side also. You are going to give a minus 1 by 3 on the right side also to balance. Remember in equation, whatever you do on the left side should also be done on the right side, so that both sides stay balanced. Alright, so now plus 1 by 3 and 1 minus 1 by 3 cancel each other out. Okay, 1 by 3 gets removed and only n stays on the left side. Now solve this part. So LCM will be 3. In the numerator you will have 2 minus 1. So what's the value of n? 1 by 3. So this is by using inverse method and solve these equations. We come to the second category now in question 2 part A. Now in this one we have the variable with the minus constant. All this while in the previous part, in A part, we had seen that the variable had what? Plus constant, plus number with it. Alright, but here we have all minus, b minus, x minus. So it's the same thing. To remove this minus 1, you will have to give plus 1. To remove this minus 0.3 on the left side of the equation, you have to give plus 0.3. To remove minus 5, you have to give plus 5. To remove minus 2 by 5, you have to give plus 2 by 5. So let's solve. So here, with x we have minus 1. So to remove minus 1, we give plus 1. So that was on the left side, we give plus 1. So on the right side also, we will do plus 1. 8 plus 1. So minus 1 and plus 1 cancel each other out, removes each other, negates each other, and only x remains. On the right side, we have 8 plus 1. So value of x is 9. Alright. Similarly here also, as usual, begin with an implied sign. And again and again reminding you, please use an implied sign. It's compulsory. For equation, we have to have an implied sign. We should begin with an implied sign. See, all my equations have an implied sign. There is no missing in any line. Alright, so here you have x minus 0.3. So what do we do to remove minus 0.3? We give a plus 0.3. So this side also 15.7 plus 0.3. So now what will happen is minus 0.3 and plus 0.3 will negate each other, cancel each other out, and only x will remain on the left side. Okay, now let us solve the right side. You have 15.7 plus 0.3. Plus 7 plus 3 is 10, carry 1. 5 plus 1 6, 6 plus 0 is 6. Okay, point should be below point. I hope you remember that in this one. Right? Here you have 1. So 16.0, or in other words, just 16.0. 0 doesn't have any value. So just 16 will do. So x value is 16. Alright, coming to the sixth part. And please, again, the same thing I am going to tell you. Whichever parts which are similar, I am not doing 8 I have not done. Part 8 is your homework. So whichever part I have not done in your book is your homework. Alright, now you have b minus 5. So to remove minus 5, we get plus 5. Or we have to convert this into what? 4 2s are 8 plus 1, 9 by 2. So you gave a plus 5. So this side also you have to give plus 5. Alright, first I have converted the next fraction into improper fraction. Then to remove minus 5, you have to give a plus 5. That's on the left side. So also on the right side, you have to give a plus 5. So now what happens is minus 5 and plus 5 cancel each other out. Only b remains. And now this time you need to remove. Now it is 5 means 5 by 1. And you need to write this one when you are dealing with fraction. Denominator nothing is there means 1 is there. Okay, 2 and 1 are same as 2. 1 how much are 2? 1 2s are 2. 2 into 5 10. 19 by 2. If you want to convert that into this fraction, 9 1 by 2. So d value is 9 1 by 2. Okay, the seventh part. You have a minus 2 by 5 with x. So to remove x, to remove minus 2 by 5 and isolate x, what you have to do? You have to give a plus 2 by 5. To remove minus 2 by 5, you have to give plus 2 by 5. This side also, on the right side also, you have to give a plus 2 by 5. So now what will happen is minus 2 by 5 and plus 2 by 5 cancel each other out. Only x will remain. And this side we need to solve. So x value is 8 by 5. And to convert that into next fraction, it will be 1 3 by 5. Oh sorry, I have a mistake here. There is a minus sign. So minus 6 plus 2. I'm sorry, I'm extremely sorry. I did not see this sign. So minus 6 plus 2. Separate integers we have. You have a negative integer, you have a positive. What we do is from the bigger we minus smaller. So minus 6 plus 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. And what sign will be there? Bigger number sign. Bigger number sign is minus. So minus 4 by 5. X value is minus 4 by 5. Now the third category of sums that we have, here between the variable and constant, you have multiplication sign. So 4x is same as writing 4 into x. So we need to remove this into 4 from x. What is opposite of into? Multiplication. Opposite of multiplication is division. So to remove multiplied by 4, we give divided by 4. So 4 and 4 will cancel each other. And only x will remain. So that's on the left side. What we have done on the left side? Divided by 4. So on the right side also you will do divided by 4. So now what will happen? 4 and 4 cancel each other. Only x remains. And therefore how much is equal? 4 is equal. So x value is 3. So by using inverse method, we get x value as 3. So once again to remind what we have done here, between 4 and x we have multiplied sign. So to remove multiplied by 4, we give a divided by 4. Alright. Same here also. Again here the same like we had encountered before also. The variable sign is on the right side and the constant number is on the left side. So let's switch sides. Begin with implied sign. I'm reminding again. So 10t will be on the left side and let's write 130 on the right side. We just switched side, exchange of side. Now 10t is same as writing 10 into t. To remove into t, what we do? what is opposite of into? Obviously division will be divided by 10. In that case 10 and 10 will cancel. So that's on the left side. On the right side we have to do the same thing that we have done on the left side. What have we done on the left side? We have given divided by 10. So you will do the same on the right side, divided by 10. So now what will happen? 10 and 10 will cancel each other. Only t will remain. 10 13s are 130. So t value is 30. Okay, coming to the fourth one. Again I am reminding whichever parts that I have not done here is your homework. Please do them. By doing you will learn. Okay, that's why homeworks are given. So 8 into 10 equals to 0.328. So to remove multiplied by 8 from n, we give divided by 8. Here also, whatever you do on the left side, you have done left side divided by 8. Right side also you will do the same thing, divided by 8. So 8 cancels out. Only n remains on the left side. Now on the right side there is a decimal calculation. What I am going to do is I am going to remove this decimal sign from the numerator. So 328 divided by, there is no need to write 0328. 0 doesn't have a value. If it is on the left side of the decimal, it doesn't have any value. So now this point will serve as 1, and after point how many digits you have? Point is 1. After point you have 1, 2, 3 digits. So 3 zeros will come down. So this is how we remove the decimal sign. We have learned this in decimal chapter, and we have already 8 given. That 8 you have to write. Now let's see whether 328 cancels with 8. Yes, it does. 8 1s are 8. 8 4s are 32. 8 1s are 8. So n is 41 by 1000. Now how do you convert 41 by 1000 back to decimal again? Let's see. I hope you have not forgotten the decimal chapter I have done earlier. So how to convert that? Write the numerator as it is and count the number of zeros. How many zeros in the denominator? Okay, sir, multiple of 10. It has to be a multiple of 10. That means the first digit has to be 1, not 2 or 3 or 4 or any other digit. So now, how many digits? How many zeros? That many digits you have to count and make point. 3 zeros are there. So count 3 digits. 1, 2, but there is nothing to count here. So give a 0. Now you have 1, 2, 3 digits. Give a point. So answer is 0.041 and value is 0.041. Okay, I hope I have made it clear to you. The last number from this particular section, 4 into y equals to 0. So now what we have to do here? From y we have to remove multiplied by 4. So we will do divided by 4. So this side also divided by 4. Whatever we do on the left side of the equation, same we have to do on the right side also. So 4 cancel each other out. Only y remains. Now what is 0 divided by 4? Now 0 divided by any number, any integer is 0 itself. 0 divided by anything is 0. So y value is 0. Okay, let's very fast complete this last section, D. Now D here means division. Okay, I think no better way to explain than this. D will here signify division. See, x divided by 2, r divided by 9, m divided by 5, m divided by 4. So it's all division here. So remove the division? Remember, in inverse means opposite method. So if you have a division, whatever number you have as the divisor, to remove that, you give the same number but as multiplication. So divided by 2 is removed as giving multiplied by 2. So this side also you will do the same thing. Whatever operation you do on the left side has to be done on the right side. You have to multiplied by 2 on the left side. So on the right side also multiplied by 2. So now what will happen? 2 and 2 will cancel each other. Only x will remain, and here 5 will 2 is 10. As simple as that. So to remove divided by 2, we have given a multiplied by 2. In earlier, if there was multiplied by 2 with x or y, then to remove that we give divided by 2. Here it is given divided by 2. To remove that we give multiplied by 2. Again here also same thing. Begin with implied sign and finally you again and again. Here it is given r divided by 9. So to remove divided by 9 we give multiplied by 9. So this side also whatever constant number is there multiplied by 9. So now what will happen? 9 and 9 will cancel each other out. The r will remain. Minus 9 into 9 is 9 9 is 81. Minus into plus is minus. Alright. Next we have this m divided by 5 equals to 1.5. So you have divided by 5. So to remove divided by 5 you will multiply by 5. This side also. So now what happens? This 5 and 5 cancel each other out. And 1.2 into 5. You can solve that in the rough. It's a division multiplication. I mean decimal multiplication. I'm sorry. It comes 6.0. Now 0.0 has no value. So I might add to write only 6. 6.0 is 6 itself. Okay. Now this sixth number. First, let us convert this expression. 2 3 is 6 plus 1, 7 by 2. Alright. So, m is the variable. Divided by 4 is there with m. So, how to remove divided by 4? We give a multiplied by 4. Okay. So, this side also multiplied by 4. So, 4 and 4 cancels each other. On the left side, only m will remain. Okay, and this side 2 on the 2 to the 4. So what do you have? 7 into 2 is 14 divided by 1. 14 divided by 1 is 14 itself. 14 itself. Same value is 14. One last number. Let's do. And the last number that I choose to do for you is the D section part 8. Okay, D section part 8. S by 10 equals to 4 by 40. Okay, and with this one we will end today's class. So begin with implied sign. There is S, this is the variable, and you have a divided by 10. So what we do to remove divided by 10? We give a multiplied by 10. So this side also same case. I hope it is clear. To remove divided by 10, I have given multiplied by 10. So here also I have on the right side also I have given multiplied by 10. So 10 cancels on left side, only S will remain. Here 10 4 the 40. And 4 and 4 also cancel each other and makes 1. Okay, 4 1 is 4, 4 1 is 4. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So S value is 1. So that's about it for today's class. In today's class we have done linear equation and how to solve linear equation by using, there are two methods, inverse method and shifting method. Out of these two we have done today the inverse method. Tomorrow we will see the next method to find the value of variable, that is